Hi, this is Let's Talk About It. A space where we'll be having real, honest, and faith-centered conversations about life. I'm your host, Phil Paladis. Come, let's talk about it. Welcome to today's episode of Let's Talk About It podcast. And joining me on today's conversation is Aina Esther Aina.
Hi, Favor.
Hi, Esther. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So, the topic for this conversation is being friendly and being a friend. Yeah, we already know that this episode is on relationships and friendships. So, first off, is there a difference between being friendly and being a friend?
All right, so being friendly and being a friend, yes, there is a difference, and that difference is in the depth. Being friendly is just at the surface layer, like talking with people, making people feel appreciated around you, making people feel comfortable around you, and the attitude that you display, the way you treat people, the little things like helping them with probably picking up a pen that fell. These are the things that makes you friendly. But when you talk about friendship is more in depth. A relationship, and it has to do with consistency and commitment, being there for the person, you ensuring that you trust the person and the person can trust you as well. All of that makes you a friend. But being friendly, yes, you can be friendly with everyone, like people that you come across with, but being a friend, it has to do with like something more personal.
Yeah, like it has like a depth to it.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. All right, so is there an experience you've had where you thought someone was a friend, whereas they were just being friendly?
Okay, so I remember one time while I was in secondary school, I had this particular girl where I thought we were friends, yes. So I thought we were friends, and then we were just flowing. Then it got to a particular point in time when she got in a discussion with someone, and the person was like, I want you to tell me the relationship between you and Esther. And then she was like, oh, Esther is just one person that I have to carry along in the hostel, someone I have to vibe with, so that I'm not alone in the hostel. I have somebody to talk to. Like when I heard it, it was heartbreaking to me because I had already seen her as a friend, as a sister, and I'd already shared so much with her. I'd been vulnerable with her, and it was so heartbreaking. And I even had to have a conversation with her. She was like, she's sorry and all of that. That it was painful.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Do you want to share how you moved on from that particular phase or that situation?
Okay, for me, like I did not learn my lesson immediately because when I spoke with her and I told her, okay, I had this, said this particular thing about me and all of that, she was like, she's sorry, that she really likes me, that she just gave excuses that did not make sense. But then she was like, we can be friends together, I really like you and all of that. And so we started being friends, and that was shortly before we graduated from secondary school. So after we finished secondary school, I would like try to reach out to her. How are you doing? Like, the way friends vibes now. So but then it was not there, the energy was not there. She would just give like, oh, I'm fine. Like she was not engaging the conversation. And at some point I decided, okay, let me stop chatting with her. Let me see if she would reach out to me. And eventually I saw that there was no point in time that she reached out to me to ask how I was faring. And then I realized that it was just one-sided. And one thing with friendship is that it's a two-way thing. So I show you loyalty, you show me loyalty. I'm committed to you, you're committed to me. So I learned my lesson.
Thank you so much for that. So from what Esther shared, we've learned that there has to be a form of intentionality and commitment before you can build a friendship with someone. Yes, so you can be friendly with everyone, but the people that you are indeed friends with are people that you can sacrifice for, people that you have commitment with, and people that you are quite intentional in building an intentional relationship with them, and people that you are quite intentional in building a relationship, like a friendship with. So moving on, Esther, I have a question here. It says, if being friendly is counted to be at the surface level, how then do I become a friend? Like a practical way. Yeah.
Okay. How do you become a friend? So one way
do I just say hi, be my friend to everybody?
All right. So the first thing is you being friendly.
Yeah.
So the person can actually even accommodate you in the first place. So being a friend, you have to be friendly, and you have to be intentional. Like you said the other time, you have to be very, very intentional about building the relationship. And friendship does not just it does not just happen overnight. It's something you have to build, and
Yeah.
it is built on trust,
Yeah. And you have to give
love.
it time.
Yes, you have to give it time, because there are some people that we come into relationship with, and from the surface level you perceive them in a particular way, but on a personal level, then you get to see them for who
Yeah.
they truly are. So at that point, definitely you have to cut off the friendship and just withdraw from the friendship. So it is built over time. So
Yeah.
based on trust, based on love, understanding, being there for the person, and being a friend, you have to be very intentional. Like, the person has to see the intentionality from your part, that, oh, this person really likes me and this person wants to be there for me. So that's it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. You said something about, probably when you've known someone on a personal level and then you have to cut off the person. Yeah. So there's this value question. Do I have to check for the values that the person possesses to know if it's in line with mine before I, try to build a friendship with the person? Or I just, I just try to be friends with anyone who is in my level, and I try to be intentional, and anyone that works just works? Or I have to check for probably the fruits, like the values that the person has first?
Yes, you have to check for the values that the person has first. You don't just approach any random person and,
Yeah.
just start building friendship with the person. You must have observed the person over time, the way they conduct themselves, the way they, their conversations, the way they perceive certain things.
Yeah.
And it is based on that you would now say, okay, I think I need this person as a friend. And then it happens in a way that the other person might not even suspect.
Exactly.
You are just being there for the person, celebrating the person's big wins and all of that. So first off, you have to observe the person. You don't just become friends with anybody. So there's a part of you checking your values. Do they align?
Yeah.
So that's it.
All right, thank you so much for that. So according to what Esther has said, she said you can actually be friendly with everyone based off how we started, but to be friends with someone, you have to check if the values the person has aligns with yours, because that's very crucial. By their fruits you shall know them. That's the verse, right? So you have to check if the person has similar fruits that you possess. Yes, if the person is loving, if the person is patient, if the person is honest, and the likes. And one thing you said about how that anyone who wants to have friends must first be friendly. It's even in the scripture,
Yeah.
Proverbs 18 verse 24. You guys can check it out. All right. So Esther, we have a question from a teenager. It says, "Hi Esther, my name is Peace and I'm 17 years old. I have issues making friends, and although I think I go out of my way to help certain people, they still don't see me as a friend. Should I start being wicked instead? Or what do you advise?"
Okay, so like I said the other time, friendship is a two-way thing. So once you are trying to like be there for the person, be present in the person's life, and one thing people misunderstand is that, okay, I have to have like probably 10 friends, 15 friends. They have to be many. No, they don't have to be many.
Yeah.
It can just be one. It can just be two.
Yeah.
And so once you start building that relationship with the person and you observe that the person is not connecting with you. Like, I remember, like, during the course of last year, I started chatting with somebody because she was a new convert, and so I was just following up on her. And so for her to be able to confide in me, for her to be able to like tell me her struggles pertaining new decision and all of that. So I tried to make myself friendly. I did not have to like, oh, I'm one sister in the Lord and all of that. I was just being there for her. And over time, I observed that this girl was taking me like a bestie or something like that. But I was just being friendly with her. I was just trying to like connect with her. So in that case, at some point I had to withdraw from her, just to let her know that it's not more than, okay, you gave your life to Christ and I'm trying to pull up on you. So that was just it. And she got the energy. And then we greet each other, we are cool. But then she was able to understand that I'm not interested in being friends with you. So I would just say that it takes time, definitely, to find that person that really aligns with your value. But there are many people that we admire, and then we try to like try to create a relationship with those people, but then they already have their own clique. They already have people that they call their own, and then they're not even willing to probably give more room for other people. So at that point, you just have to be there. You don't have to be wicked. Just be friendly as you are. Definitely, you find somebody that connects with you and likes you as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. That was like a brilliant answer. Okay, so to add to what Esther said, I would say don't force it. Please don't force it. Like, don't force it, because it already looks like you're already trying to be all brutal and everything. Because the part where she said, should I start being wicked instead? Like, so I want you to first understand who you are as a person, know your values. I feel like when you know your values, you know the people that should be in your circle, more like people with similar values as yourself, or people who possess similar values as yourself, as we already stated earlier. And another thing is, what's your motive behind having friends? Like, why are you doing the thing? Are you kind to people simply because you want something in return? Does that mean that when you have certain friends, you are giving it to them because you want that same measure, even though it will still happen? It has to happen. Friendship, real friendships are not usually one-sided. But are you going with the motive of, okay, this girl is my friend. If I help her today, if I need her help and she does not show up, cut her off. Friendship is not really like that. There are times when your friends might not really show up, but then you understand because of the depth and because of the mutual understanding that you've had so far. So understand yourself. That's what I would say. And know your values, so you can know the people that possess the values that can be in your space. And number three, check your motives. Why do you want to be friends with certain people? There are some people who admire people that are high up there, and then you have access to them, and probably they now call you their friends, and then you just useless the whole friendship and everything, and the person regrets having you in their space. I'm bet you wouldn't want that. So take note of that. All right, so before we wrap up, there is a question I want you to answer genuinely. So in 1 minute, Esther, if you had an opportunity to advise your younger self on what we discussed today about friendships and everything, what would you say?
All right. So one thing I'll say is, like you said the other time, is that number one, you have to understand yourself. You have
Yeah.
to know yourself. Because I remember when I transitioned into a boarding school, like when I was in SS1. And so because of that, I came into that school with the mindset of, oh, I want to make friends, because in my environment I was not like, I didn't have so many friends. I didn't have friends. So I was just going with that mindset that, okay, I will definitely get friends from this place. And so at some point, it looked like I was the one begging them for the friendship. And so that was because I didn't know who I was, who I am. And so that caused that. So I would say that number one, I should know who I am. I should know who I am, and then I should understand my values and understand that I myself am valuable.
Yeah.
And then I should attract people to myself. And also, I will also advise myself that, okay, I should not try to force myself on people, in as much as it takes effort to keep a friendship going. There's a point where you respect yourself.
Yeah.
And once you see that this person doesn't like me as much as I like the person, this person is not giving me back the same energy, or this person is not well invested as I am, definitely I should withdraw and cut ties with such person.
All right, that's beautiful. All right, so before we wrap up, I would like to say something, because this podcast is faith centered and is targeted towards teenagers and young adults. If you're a teenager or a young adult watching this, and then you desire genuine friendships, you desire having real people in your circle, in your space, probably you've had friendship hurts a number of times and you've even given up on moving with people and all, I want you to know that God cares about that aspect of your life. God cares. He deeply cares about the people you move with. He cares about you so much that he won't leave you to move with people that would remove you from his will for your life. So pray about it. Yes, pray about it. And I'm even like a testament of that particular action, because I prayed about my friendships at a particular point, and then I saw how God removed people from my life. There was no long talk, like no fights, not like some people just left me and I just left them. Like there was just this disconnection, and he placed me in the midst of certain people that has helped my work with God, that has helped me in my academics and so other things. So dear viewer, pray about it. Like pray about it. You can even do that now. You can do that. Like just do it. God hears and is interested. He's interested in the people you move with. He's really, really, really interested in. He's interested in your life, and your life entails your friendships, your academics, your finance, your health, everything else. Do you get? So pray about your friendships and trust him to direct you. And when probably a disconnection comes or a particular friendship hurts, trust that it's part of the process and trust God while at it. So thank you so much, Esther. It was so nice having you here, and I actually learned a lot. Like I learned a lot. Thank you so much. Yeah, before we wrap up, we have affirmations, and you just have to repeat after. I, Falade Favor. You can insert your name. I, Falade Favor.
I know it's fine.
I am a city set on a hill.
I'm a city set on a hill.
I am God's workmanship.
I'm God's workmanship.
I am fearfully and wonderfully made.
I'm fearfully and wonderfully made.
God didn't make any mistake with me.
God didn't make any mistakes with me.
God is my father.
God is my father.
And he loves me so much.
And he loves me so much.
I am God backed.
I'm God.
We've come to the end of today's episode. Thank you all for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop a comment. And also share this video with as many people as possible. See you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.